All right, episode 13 of the Kloss Show. I got some topics for this week. I've got some good ones. I don't know which one I'm going to start off with. I guess I'll start with the current event here. We lost a legend this week, boys. We lost a real legend. If you don't know him, you're about to learn. Larry Flynt, R.I.P. to the porn king himself. He was the owner of Hustler magazine, and he lobbied back in the day in front of people you lobby in front of to get basically to be able to have less restriction on porn and what they could show. Because if you look at like old porn, it'd be like the Marilyn Monroe centerfold is like a titty. It's like one single titty, and it's like, who the fuck wants that? You know, the centerfold would be like half it would be legs. His centerfolds, you open that thing wide and it'd just be vag, just pussy right there for you. So he gave you what you wanted, dude. He gave you pussy. He wanted to really push the envelope on anything you could show in a magazine. And they had like the Hustler forums. I don't know what they were specifically called, but people would basically write in Penthouse. Oh, was that Penthouse? Penthouse letters? Maybe I'm mixing up Penthouse letters, but it's like we're sending it. We're making it one, and people would write in the weird shit like, "Oh yeah, I love it when and as the delivery boy walked into my house and took me over the counter, and all this craziness because I had nothing to pay with." You know, before they had real visual, like video porn, that's the best you could get outside of pictures. So he was a revolutionary. He was a real bro before it. No one else was standing up for it. He was like, but pretty much it was the money that won it for him. He went before Congress and was like, well, I don't know if it was Congress. We're just talking out of our ass here. If you came to the Kloss Show for the correct shit, you're in the wrong place. But he talked before people and was like, look at all the money I'm making. Look at all the money. And he had a quote that was basically like, nothing will change someone's moral standing than cash in large sums. And essentially, they saw the money and changed everything. And now, today, you've got porn. Anything you want on the internet, you can find it. You can find people doing anything. Back then, you couldn't see shit like you could see today. You can find videos of people doing anything. Imagine what it was like before that, dude. Before just being able to look up whatever you wanted. That must have been terrible. It must have been terrible. But everybody go ahead and pull up Pornhub and yak one off in respect of the dead, Larry Flynt. Let's see, did I write down any of the stuff he did? Oh, yeah, his funeral there is open to the public. So if you're in Las Vegas, you can actually go to his funeral, and there will be strippers and booze at his funeral. He's not letting the party stop at death, dude. It's going full send the whole way to the grave. Send her to the grave, dude, which is that's how I want to die, too, dude. I almost want to have, at my funeral, I want to have some crazy shit. I want to have some crazy shit at my funeral, like, you know, and I want it to really be played up like it's going to be serious at first. Like it'll play that song like bum 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 or whatever they play at funerals. And then just all of a sudden, instead of a regular priest coming out, two midgets standing on top of each other's shoulders walk out in a trench coat in a big priest outfit and just stand there wobbling on top of each other like, yeah, oh, we lost a great man today, a great tall man. He was about this height as well as me. I swear this is my natural height, everybody. And just tell midget jokes the whole time just to see people's face like, what? He hired midget comedians to come and do his sermon at his funeral? What is this shit? Then after that, after the midgets come out, you think it's a couple midgets on top of each other. Bust it out, bam. My favorite porn star, probably 100 years old at that point, Kat Garcia, right underneath, holding them up all the whole time. It was great. It's going to be a party. There's going to be a light show. Probably not really. That'd be a total waste of... I don't know. It'd be fun for everybody else. I might arrange something like that, depending on the finances. I might have to talk with... Do you put that in your will? What do you even put where you want actually done? To the point where when you die, people can't be like, well, we're not actually going to put his head on display. Like, what the fuck? I paid for this shit. Let's see, what are my Larry Flynt paper go? I got any other good Larry Flynt things? Yeah, he was famous back when blondes were considered sexy, dude. Back when they were the top shelf item. So if you look up pictures of him, it's like him and a bunch of like bimbo blondes from the 80s. But he's an absolute legend. R.I.P. Larry Flynt. Yak one off for a dead one. But I know what you guys are here for. You're here for the meat and the potatoes. You're here for the real shit. So I think I stumbled across the greatest Wikipedia page of all time. And I tried paraphrasing little things in there about it that I was going to put for the show. And I went, you know what? I'm just messing up. I had to just do it justice and read the page to the show. I'll just read the whole page. It's a pretty short page. It's the greatest Wikipedia page. If you want to look it up, it is the Wikipedia page for Grady Stiles. He also is known by Lobster Boy. Lobster Boy, he lived from 1937 to 1992. Lobster Boy was an American freak show performer and a murderer. His deformity was the genetic condition, I don't know how to pronounce this, so we're just going to call it Lobster Boyism. Lobster Boyism, in which the fingers and toes are fused together to form a claw-like extremities. Excrements shit, I think. I can't read. If you're here for the Kloss show for good reading, you're in the wrong place. Anyway, the fingers and toes are fused together to form claw-like extremities. Because of this, Stiles performed under the stage name Lobster Boy. And if you Google image him, he looks. I'm gonna actually, I'll pull it up and I'll turn it. We're gonna do it like Joe Rogan, but on a real low scale here. So this is the Lobster Boy. Oh my god, this is not showing up good. That's the Lobster Boy, and he was a circus freak that I guess made a good enough living but I saw that he was a murderer, and I was like, what? He can kill with those lobster claws? Did he claw somebody to death? How did he kill him? And sure enough, right here on this Wikipedia, they have a whole portion just dedicated to it that just said murder. So I clicked on that. I'll read it to you. Lobster Boy was an alcoholic and was abusive to his family. Due to his Lobster Boyism, he was unable to walk. While he sometimes used a wheelchair, he most commonly used his hands and arms for locomotion. He developed substantial upper body strength that, when combined with his bad temper and alcoholism, made him a danger to others. So he was just yoked out here with heavy hands, blasting motherfuckers, because he had all upper body strength. He had nothing else, but he just had yoked arms, apparently, and he could throw a puck and punch, throw a claw right at him. I wonder what shape they looked like. Like, was there bones in his fins? Like, what? I guess they had to be bones if they were fused together and weren't just... Anyway, in 1978 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Lobster Boy shot and killed his oldest daughter's fiancé on the eve of their wedding. He must have really not liked him. He was brought to trial where he openly confessed to killing the man and was convicted of third-degree murder. So he's convicted of it. He was not sent to prison, as no state institute was equipped to care for an inmate with such deformities. Lobster Boy was instead sentenced to house arrest and 15 years probation. So he got probation for murder. That's it, because he was so deformed that they're like, sheesh, we don't want the liability of holding on to this guy. He tried to turn it around, apparently, when he got out. Lobster Boy stopped drinking thereafter, and during this period remarried his first wife, Teresa. However, he soon began drinking again, and his family claimed that he became even more abusive. They couldn't take it anymore, because in 1992, Teresa, together with her son from a previous marriage, Harry Glenn Newman Jr., hired a 17-year-old sideshow performer named Chris Wyatt to kill Lobster Boy for $300. Wyatt was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 27 years in prison. Harry Newman, the son, was given life in prison for his role as the mastermind, and Teresa given 43 years in prison for conspiracy to commit murder. So he got to kill someone scot-free. But when he was killed, everybody did time, dude. They did. That's 70 added up there. 70 plus life. They did over 100 years in jail time between the three of them. I wonder if that one guy's out. What's his name? Wyatt? What's his name? Where was it? Something Wyatt? Chris Wyatt. Let me look this guy up. What was his circus freak? What was his circus freak job? Film producer. Circus freak. This is dead air now. What did Chris Wyatt do? Looks like he's stricken from the record, it looks like. I don't know what he did. But he was a sideshow performer as well, which is the nice way of calling them the freak show. Further reading, after this, I was like, okay, well, let's read what happened in the aftermath of the Lobster Boy murder. Lobster Boy's son disputes the claim that Teresa had him murdered. According to him, his stepmother Teresa and father were arguing. Teresa had said something needs to be done. Teresa's son overheard this and went to a neighbor and repeated those words. Shortly after this happened, Lobster Boy smoked a cigarette while watching television on his sofa. The neighbor entered his home with a semi-automatic pistol and shot him twice in the head, killing him. Lobster Boy was so hated by the local community that only 10 people came to his funeral and nobody volunteered as a pallbearer to carry his coffin. He was just a rotten fuck to everybody. And I scrolled up and I was like, you know what, I may as well just read. This is only one paragraph when I was reading it. I may as well see this last little part about his family history. According to Lobster Boy's father, the Lobster family had a long history of Lobster Boyism dating back to 1840. Lobster Boy was the fourth child, so he's the fourth generation Lobster Boy freak show of Lobster Boy Sr. and his wife Edna, whose first child was something else, born in 1905. Capitalizing on his deformity, Lobster Boy Sr. was a sideshow attraction in a traveling carnival. After Lobster Boy Jr., who is our Lobster Boy that we've been talking about the whole time, was born, he was immediately folded into the sideshow act at the age of 7. Lobster Boy married twice, had 4 children, 2 of whom had Lobster Boyism. So he passed it on to 2 people. Lobster Boy, and he had 2 of his kids tour together as the Lobster family. When not traveling in the carnival, Lobster Boy's family lived in Gibsonton, Florida, which was highlighted, where many other carnival performers lived during the winter months. And I was like, wait a minute. He got killed in a community of freak shows, and he was so hated by all the freak shows that none of them wanted to come to his funeral. So I clicked on Gibsonton, Florida. I wanted to see what was up. And sure as shit, it is where all of the retired, they have a union. I wrote down the name of it somewhere. This is where all the retired freak shows come. They come and they live in Gibsonton, Florida. There's a union and there's a museum about all the old school stuff. Lobster Boy's in there. They had the bearded lady. This guy who just was like 7 feet tall and would pretend to be a giant. Somebody that was like 700 pounds. Just out there. And they made real deal fucking money back then, dude. Especially back then when they were on the train and the train would pull up and they'd get off. The giant man was making like $1.5 million a year doing this shit. To today's money. It's inflated to today's money. I looked into it. I was like, what? These guys made so much money that they were able to start a union and have a retirement program for circus acts and freak shows and sideshows back in the day. So they had like the half lady and people all living here. And of course, after that, I had to look up the museum of the freak shows. So let's see if I'm missing anything. The International Independent Showman's Association is what this is called. So I had to look up the museum at that point. And there was a half-hour video on YouTube of this guy. He did a full tour of it in there. And I want to go so bad to this museum. It looked fucking amazing, dude. They had everything from back then. Those people knew how to put on a show. Literally, it'd be like, step right up. We have fucking everything. We got midgets. We got fat people. We've got a fucking puppet show where the man puppet just domestically abuses his puppet wife the whole time. We've got elephants. We've got fucking clowns. They had everything back then, dude. Craziness. Lobster Boy. I want to know what the Lobster Boy show really was. Was he like telling stand-up jokes? Was he like going out there and like trying to grab at the audience? Like, what was the Lobster Boy doing, dude? I'm gonna look up. I doubt there's a video because this was like the 50s. He was doing this shit. But who knows? There might have been. Dude, shit was so crazy back then. The CIA's out there drugging people. Talked about that the other week. Lobster Boy's out there fucking grabbing at people, killing people. Apparently, murderer. He was a murderer. He admittedly murdered. But Punch and Judy were the name of the domestic abuse puppets I saw that were pretty crazy. And when I looked up what it would cost to go to a show like this, it was the equivalent of about $30 today. And people were doing the crazy shit, dude. I would happily pay $30 to watch someone light themselves on fire and ride a motorcycle around. Easily. Just for that alone, let alone the whole show. And these guys were making good money. They were selling out these southern towns. People in the South loved it. They loved the fried food. They loved all that shit. And I guess when I was looking at the comments in the video of the museum, people were like, it was right outside Tampa, Gibsonton, Florida. People were like, oh yeah, I went there when I was younger and I met the half lady and she was very pleasant and all this craziness. So up until about the 90s, you used to be able to go and interact with these old school freak show circus freaks. Now that's all that's left is a museum, and they have like a private clubhouse where some people still go, I guess. But it's pretty much, they're all dead at this point. And but the museum is there, and I want to go so bad. I want to go so bad. I wish I could have met the bearded woman or something like that, but this is next as good. Imagine the Vice documentaries they could have had on those circus people from back then and the shit they were doing, living in train cars and all sorts of craziness. Apparently they like really did put the money back into taking care of their people, which is kind of weird. Like they had custom train cars for if you were the real tall or real short, or real fat people, so that they were comfortable. And they actually took care of their people. So the work back then was they were taken care of back then. So that's pretty cool. Which I'm surprised there isn't, especially in the Southeast. I'm surprised that there's not a like fast food chain that is all carnival food. Like, there's people in America with so little pride, they'll happily cop them a funnel cake for their 5 p.m. commute home. They don't give a fuck, dude. They'll eat a fried pickle and a bag of cotton candy like they're 7 years old just for a regular Wednesday drive home. I'm surprised they don't have something like that. Get some deep fried butter on a stick, all types of... It would explode instantaneously in the southern United States. Easily. There's absolutely no way the folks of the southern U.S. would not patronize such a place. It'd be great. Is that the right word? Patronize? To be a patron? They would go there all the damn time. They'd eat the shit out of it. And there's something, you can have that idea if anybody wants it. What did I write on this? Anything I missed? Okay, we're staying on topic pretty good. I'm following some of the bullet points I wrote down. I wrote down, yeah, I guess it doesn't matter that they don't have sideshows anymore because you could just go to Walmart, which I guess makes sense because every time I go to Walmart, there's something to tell somebody about. There's something. Like one time I went to Walmart and there was a guy, he was real fat and flabby, and he had a baby arm, I actually had 2 occurrences with baby arms in Arkansas. I'll tell the other story another day because it's off topic, but if you somebody remind me of the baby arm story. This guy was going around Walmart, and rather than using his good arm, he had his good arm on the cart, and he was just taking his baby arm and picking up bananas and like looking at him and seeing if he wanted them, like the bushels, and putting them down. And I'm just standing there like disgusted, like what the fuck? Why is he touching all? What the fuck? Stop! Oh my god, people are gonna buy those. People are gonna eat that. People are gonna fucking eat that. They'll have no idea. Like, I know bananas got a little fucking casing on it, but imagine if he just walked over with that dirty little baby hand that you know he ain't cleaning, right? You can't, how do you wash that? How do you get that out of the sink? No, there's no way. Just that slimy little dirty baby hand. Imagine if he handed you one. Would you eat that? Would you eat that banana? Like, imagine if he was your buddy. He's great elsewise, besides he got this dirty little baby arm. You go, oh man, I'm kind of hungry. And he knows you love bananas. He goes, oh, here's a banana. And he gives it to you. What are you going to do in that scenario? Are you going to eat that banana? Or are you just going to open it, wait till he looks away, break a little piece off? Dude, I don't want to eat anything that was held by that. And, that's, I guess, a modern day kind of freak show right there. It's just watching this guy pick through all the bananas and ruin them for everybody else. Disgustingly. Oh, God. Makes me not want to buy produce from Walmart, even though they have the best fucking prices on everything. Let's see. Did we talk anything else about the freak show? I want to make sure I talked everything about the freak show. I don't want to miss anything on that, dude. I'm absolutely astonished with the whole story of all of it, dude. And that little community of freaks living there. Okay, so I think I got that covered. I watched the little video, movie, documentary thing the other day. It's narrated by the guy that does Planet Earth, but it's not Planet Earth. It was called, like, My Planet or something. And I just skipped to the shark one. I was like, let me see the ocean one. This would be filmed cool. And it opens up with his David Attenborough saying, like, real calmly, like, 90% of the sharks are dead. And I'm like, damn, dude, that kind of sucks. Like, 90% of them are dead? That's it? Like, only 10% are alive? So of all the sharks, 9 out of 10 of the sharks are, like, of all existing? Or just right now? What does he mean 90% of them are dead? That's kind of vague, but whatever, you've got me. And I start watching, and they're showing the sharks swimming around and everything. And it starts talking about what the sharks eat. It shows them trying to eat these fish during the day, and they're having a hard time getting them. And it cuts. And it cuts to nighttime, and it starts showing all these little fish just hiding. It looks like they're hiding in the coral. And the hard violin music starts playing, which I call shark music. That's shark music. If a violin starts playing, that's shark music, dude. Like Jaws and all that type of shit. A hard, heavy violin, that's shark music. And it's like the sharks are just circling around looking. It's like and David Attenborough's like, they do most of their feeding at night. And I'm like, oh boy, they're going to start eating these nice colorful fish. This is bad. They're going to start ripping them up. And it just shows them start picking them off. It's like, those ones shouldn't have been really out at night anyway. But then these little, like, wormy sharks start coming out. And they team up with the big sharks to flush out the little fish out of their homes in the coral. They're scaring them out of there, and they're going out and they're just getting ripped to shreds by these fish in 4K right on my TV in front of my eyes. They're just destroyed these nice colorful fish, and I'm like, whoa, you know what? Fuck sharks, actually. Fuck sharks. Fuck the last 10% of them. Sharks are the fucking ISIS of the sea. They're out there terrorizing all the little fish. And don't give me none of that food chain bullshit. Because they end somewhere. There's a top at one point. If they get rid of the sharks, it'll just be the next biggest one will be the predator instead. And the sharks are eating some of the sheephead wrasse, and the sheephead wrasse are eating they're not eating enough. There's not enough of them to eat the sea urchins, and the sea urchins are killing the coral, which is leaving less places for the fish to go. So I think we need less sharks, and I am all for shark death. I think more of them need to be obliterated by boats, and more of them need to suffocate in oil spills. We need less sharks. They are the ISIS of the ocean. That's what we need. We need less sharks, and we need less people. Fuck sharks. Fuck them. Because the food chain's bullshit anyway. The same people that believe in the food chain are the same people that believe in trickle-down economics. If you look at that, the shark eats that, so this population is that bad and that bad. That's bullshit. It's supply and demand in nature, too. If the sharks weren't there to eat all of those fuckers, there would just be more of those fuckers, and then it would just balance out again. It would. What are they going to do? All of them eat the fish, and then it's just going to go extinct overnight? No. That's not going to happen. Fuck sharks. Fucking cocksucking shark bastards. Oh, God. It made me just find a new hatred for sharks, to be honest. I say fuck them. I thought they were cool at first, like from Nemo and all that, until I realized that they're just out here stealing. They're the crackhead ISIS of... They're crackheads. They're just stealing from people. murdering in the streets. They gangbangers out here. I thought I was going to get a little more time out of some of these topics, but did I not write down one more? I guess not. Fuck it. 25 minutes, we're doing good. I still got some other shit to talk about. This lady on social media, I don't know if you call it a lady, if I'm misgendering, however, I don't even know all the shit. It was born a man, has a penis, now has boobs, goes as a woman. I believe they would like to be called women. It was a trans woman, chick with a dick, guy with boobs, whatever you want to call it, said that trans women give better blowjibbers, BJs, than they suck better dick than straight women. And there was a little bit of an uprising, all these straight ladies trying to be like, girl, I know my way around penis better than even a man knows his way around a penis. That's some bullshit. And I would attribute it almost to like sports in a way. Like, imagine the power and the fortitude of a grown, hard-working man topping you off. I feel like even if you aren't into dudes, he's going to forcefully suck that cum out of you. That cum's coming out one way or another, and it's happening. It's happening. So, she might be onto something with that. The trans folk might give the best blowjibbers in town. I don't know, personally. You'd have to ask some of the friends of the show. I know you guys are into that sick shit. Talking to you, Florida man. You know who you are. And, so, let me know what you think. Could you get better or worse blowjibbers? Because, honestly, if you're asking me, men do everything better anyway. So, of course, they're going to be better at sucking dick. And just like a real man, that's how you know deep down that person's still a real man. That competition in them to be like, I suck better dick than you. Even I could do that. You can't do shit better. I've got a little bit of a hometown tale about my grandmother's dog. It was named Tuffy. Her name was Tuffy. It was a wiener dog. My grandmother loved to fatten up dogs, give them human food, peanut butter jelly, shepherd's pie, things like that. She loved to do that, and this dog was so fat towards the tail end of its life that it would just make noise, like that pug that I was talking about last week would. Like, you'd be sitting there, and the dog would just lay there and go on the floor, just breathing, like, struggling to breathe at all times. I'm like, oh my god. It never got walked. It was a perfect circle. This wiener dog became a perfect circle. Its legs were so short, its body would drag on the ground. It was so fat. And one winter, I wasn't home. I guess my grandmother let the dog out, and the dog goes out there, pees, and then just kind of rolls all in one motion, just and rolls over and made one last sound, and then just shit out its ass, just and died right there. And right in front of my grandmother, who was horrified to watch her dog die. And my sister just texts me, Tuffy died, can you come dig a hole? That's it, out of nowhere. That was the end of Tuffy. Had to dig her a hole, throw her out back. Dunzo for the dog. R.I.P. It's a nasty, nasty little dog. But hey, you know what, fuck it. It was funny, provided lots of entertainment. It was a girl dog, liked to hump things still though. And one time it was humping this long, skinny stuffed animal it had, and it was humping it, and my grandmother was like, "Oh, grab that thing by the other end, stop it from doing that. I don't want to touch it." She humps it, and one side's a mouth, and one side's an ass, and she goes, "Well, she doesn't screw it in the mouth. Grab the other end. She don't screw it in the mouth." I was like, "Oh my God, Grandma, no." Stop talking about your fat dog screwing its stuffed animal. I can't take it anymore. Which is a good hometown shenanigan. I could have swore I had more stuff to talk about than this. Did I miss something? 29 minutes, that's not a bad Rip of the Kloss show. Boom, 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 boom. I guess that's it for today, boys. I thought I wrote down more stuff. Talked about the Lobster boy. Talked about Florida. That is the most Florida shit of all time, though. For that for the circus freaks to even end up there. Even the circus freaks retire in Florida. That is the most Florida shit you could think of. Let's see what else we put here. Carnival fast food. Larry Flynt. R.I.P. Larry Flynt. Make sure you yank one out for Larry Flynt. And, oh, yes. I got it right here. I almost did miss one. I got it for you right here. We almost sealed it in a little too quick. I saw this news article. I just wrote it down small on here. Oh, my God. Damn it. I don't have it on here. I gotta find it. I've gotta find it. I think I'm going to Not the Onion right now. Hang in there, people. Where is it? Here we go. Doctor sells newborn baby as couples. Oh my God! Why does it keep putting an ad in front of this? Doctor sells newborn as couple fails. Oh my God! Can it stop with the? It keeps popping this ad up. Doctor sells newborn as couple fails to pay hospital bills in Punjab, which I assume is somewhere in India. If that ain't in India or the Middle East, then just take my show away right now. Basically what happened is this doctor was like, hey, you're not paying your bills. I need my money. Give me my money. I just gave birth to this kid. And they're like, well, we don't have any money. And he's like, well, would you be interested in selling the baby to pay for all this? I'm like, no. So he forcibly took the baby and sold it to somebody. Somebody did. He had a buyer lined up, I guess. And, sold it, and then the police showed up, and he went. Did he get arrested? Yeah, he's under investigation, and legal things are pending. So they haven't decided what they're going to do about it yet. I think, contrary to the comments, people are saying he's an animal, he's disgraceful. I think the kid was going to have a better life. Whoever was buying it obviously had money. They were going to take better care of that kid than those people who can't even pay their bills. They already can't pay their bills right off the gate. The kid's not even born yet. They can't even pay their bills. Come on. Fuck it. People are like, oh my God, separating people from their natural parents. Adoption's a thing. Fuck it. Forced adoption if they can't. You probably have less of the problems today if people that couldn't take care of their kids weren't allowed to. Shit, I know plenty of people who growing up I'd be like, God damn, dude, I feel bad for this guy. I wish he had good parents. This is sad watching this. This place smells. It's dirty. There's 8 dogs living here. What's going on? I don't know why it is, but broke people seem to always be fat and have a lot of animals. I don't know where they get them. But they love them. Broke people love pets. Absolutely love them. Not to say that pets are bad, but I wouldn't get them. Pets are nasty in my mind. So I'm all for it. I don't know what you guys think. If we can get a couple comments going over something. Tell me what you think about if trans people can suck better dick, and if these, because India's fucked. Anyway, people just shit in the streets left and right there. Anyway, there's a whole a TED Talk where a woman talks about everybody shitting in the streets in India as if it's normal. People with toilets will be like, oh, time to go outside and take a shit in the road. They don't use toilets even by choice there. Even if they have them, they'll happily choose the shit in the road. So that's just a cultural thing at some point. So fucking get these kids somewhere where they can actually shit indoors and clean their fucking curry-smelling bodies off. Oh my God, they got a little racist at the end there, but fuck it. This is the Kloss Show. We tear down everybody. If you're offended, this ain't the place for you anyway. We're at the Kloss Show. We are just as reputable as CNN and just as offensive as the Stern Show. So if you hung in there through all the lobster shit and and it throws you off a couple Indian jokes, then I don't even know who you are. Something's wrong with you. This is your fault. You're 35 minutes in to the Kloss Show. This is your own damn fault. Let's see if we can squeeze in one more. Let's go on Not the Onion and see what we can stumble across. I thought I had some other shit written down that I could have. Died, blowjibbers, chicks with dicks. Yeah. Okay, that's everything I wrote down. Talked about the sharks, how much I hate them. Yeah, fucking terror sharks. Alright, well, let's see if we got one more on Not the Onion. And we'll hammer it home. We didn't bring a does it send this week, or do it not send, or whatever it's called. Does it send section? Does it send? We could ask that. Does it send trans people blow jippers? Does it send? I know you fuckers are going to say it does send. I would probably say it does not send personally, but. Oh man, there's a lot of dead time. I'm trying to find one last good one. One last good one. Fuck it. You know, we'll end it off with UFC talk. So, Fluffy Hernandez, if you guys saw this absolute comeback of a fight the other day, it was amazing. I would recommend it to anybody. Fluffy Hernandez fought some dude who was like the other guy was like a minus 500 favorite betting. So that means you had to bet $500 just to make 100. And I think Fluffy, I don't know what he was, plus something, just counted out of this fight entirely. And the other guy was like a 6 or 7 time grappling champion in Abu Dhabi, BJJ. This guy is massive that Fluffy is fighting. He is back. He looked twice the size of Fluffy Hernandez. He was huge, and right off the rip, puts Fluffy on his back and is dominating him. And it looks like, okay, this isn't going to go well. Gets him in a couple of chokes. Fluffy keeps getting out of it, gets out of it. All of a sudden, he starts beating him to the positions. He's beating him to the positions. The other guy's getting a little tuckered out. There's still 2 minutes of the round. He gets back to his feet with about a minute and a half left in the first round. He is behind on the scorecards. He has been controlled the whole fight at this point, the whole round. He starts laying on punches, nailing this guy in the face. This guy will not go down, but he takes these punches. He nails him with so many punches. He turns it around. I'd say he won that round. He won that round. He pretty much put him out to the point where the guy was almost out. Comes out the second round, keeps pouring it on him, goes to the ground with the guy, and he chokes out the BJJ guy. This guy who looked out of shape. He looked fat. Took the fight on short notice. Showed up, choked him out. His last fight, he lost to Kevin Holland, which now these guys that lose to Kevin Holland do some impressive shit. But he goes out and choked out this guy, and in his post-fight interview, he's talking to Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan goes, "Man, you just choked out a guy who was a 6-time Abu Dhabi grappling champion," and he interrupts him and goes, "Man, that doesn't mean shit to me," out of nowhere. So he got a new fan after that one out of Kloss. Fluffy Hernandez, I'll be watching him anytime he's on from here on out. And that's about it for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the Kloss show. R.I.P. Larry Flynt and R.I.P. the Lobster Boy. Those are two real American legends, specifically in their industries. And R.I.P. Fly High Boys. Hope you're getting strippers and hope you're getting boozed up in the sky.